Hello, people of Internet. Welcome once again to the Squares of the Round Table podcast, episode number 31. This is the voice of me, Mike Boyle, and with me, as usual, is Jeff.
Hey, Mike, how are you this week?
I'm doing good. Had a good weekend. Had a good time. Unfortunately, Ivan is not here with us today. He's doing a DJ gig in the city, spinning those records downtown for the nice people. Mm-hmm. So we will catch him next week with any luck. He'll be done spinning records. Hopefully he's not spinning like 24 hours a day for 7 days. He'll be back. He'll be back. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, he'll be back. Although, if he continues to spin, then he'll throw up. And
yeah, he's not actually spinning records. He's just walking in a circle. I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Sure. So anyway, Jeff, how was your weekend? How was your Hanukkah?
Kind of uneventful, to be perfectly honest. It's kind of been there. This week has been weird as a whole. It started out with that train being on fire when we were doing the show. And then, like Wednesday, I went to go see a doctor, and I got stuck in an elevator for about 5 minutes. And then Friday, I ended up where we, lost all the internet in the house, and that includes, the cable from Xfinity. So, at one point, I didn't have the ability to, get online, watch TV, or anything. So, it was kind of a weird week.
You didn't have Wi-Fi, or you didn't have just wireless or LTE?
Well, I used my LTE on my phone, but, I didn't have anything, internet, and the TV, nope, nothing. So it was kind of okay. It was funny, I called up to complain, and they're like, why don't we give you 3 months of free HBO? Why don't you? That sounds like a plan. So now I have HBO. But yeah, it's just been kind of one of those weeks where weird things happened all week.
All right. You explain to me about the elevator, please. This is going to be interesting, I think.
Well, it was funny. I was running late to an appointment, and I got into the elevator, and the guy says to me, okay, I think he's like, well, we're going to probably go down. I'm like, oh, okay. So we go down, and we get down to the basement level, but then the doors don't open, and it goes all the way up to the 6th floor where I need to go. And it kind of stops, but the doors don't open, and then it starts to go towards it comes back towards down to the 1st floor. And I'm sitting there, and there was somebody else who was in there, and apparently there had been elevator problems all the day. And they're working on the other elevator in that building. So this person called up right away to be like, hey, we got a problem, blah, blah, blah. So we get to that area, to the 1st floor, and we had to pry open the door, and he had to pry open the door, and I had to we basically had to walk out that way. And of course we're a little bit off the ground, so I had to kind of hop down, which is always fun.
Wow.
Because you're like, okay, am I going to stick the landing on this or not, or is this going to be a YouTube moment? Thank God it wasn't a YouTube moment. And that was funny because it's okay, then I got to wait because they got to see if they can fix it. And I still got to get upstairs for this appointment. So, I'm in I'm in the elevator with the guys as I'm going back up to the 6th floor. So if it breaks, at least they're there to kind of fix it. But eventually got there. It was funny. On the way down, I was like, do I really want to get in the elevator? This might not be smart. But I'm like, all right, we'll be fine. And it was okay, but it was weird because it's okay, I saw a train fire and now I got stuck in an elevator. What else could happen this week?
Well, modes of transportation are not cooperating with you this week.
Yeah, well, at least, just kind of weird. It was funny. I don't think they got the train out of here until midnight, or after midnight. So it was kind of crazy, but yeah, no. Trying to think of anything else. Watch some football and
I was keeping track of the scores of the Bears game yesterday during game night.
Yeah, I was it was funny. I was at Windy City Professional Speakers, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to worry about it when I get back out, and we'll see. And I was pleasantly surprised that the Bears were somehow ahead. And I think if you're in Chicago, you're pleasantly surprised and somewhat shocked as to how well they did. It's kind of funny though, nationally. Like I tried to watch a couple of the national shows, and it was it's like the fourth or fifth story, and I'm like, we just stopped what's considered the number one team in the country right now in professional football, and why is this like the third or fourth story down? I don't understand, but
because the beloved Patriots didn't do well. Oh no!
Oh, and the Cowboys won. Because if the Cowboys win, that's all that matters. So, yeah, I mean, I swear, it's like constantly. It's like when the Cowboys start doing well, forget it. Nobody else is on TV. Just forget it. I don't know. It should be interesting to see
how the Panthers have gone into the shitter.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if Ron Rivera keeps his job. I really am. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it's his fault or bad personnel or it was funny, Shannon Sharp was talking about that he thinks Cam Newton's injured again, but he's trying to play through it. So if that's the case, that's always going to be a problem. But yeah, and then I'm also Colts fan, so yesterday was a good day for me because the Colts beat the Texans. That was cool, and my fantasy football team's doing well. So life has been somewhat good.
That's good.
So I haven't had potato lockies, but other than that, we're good. Oh, and of course, the most important thing happened Friday.
Yes.
I didn't lose internet until after the Avengers trailer came out. Thank God.
So, how many times did you watch it?
Oh my God. I feel like I've watched it at least 10 or 12 times already.
I think I'm up to about 8. I think. I don't keep track of those things, but I was like, family member number 3, you need to watch this. So I pull up YouTube on the TV through the PS4, and I can watch it in HD. That's nice. Instead of, this is not the thing. Well, of course, I was at work Friday morning, and I go to break at 9 o'clock, and it's been out for an hour. So I sneak away to break, quote unquote break.
It's interesting, Mike. I heard one of the reasons they held off was because of George Bush's funeral.
Right. There was a rumor that it was going to be played on Good Morning America, but Wednesday was the day of mourning for George H.W. So,
right.
That's why they leaked it that's why they released it officially on Friday. And then we didn't get the Spider-Man trailer. I think 3 trailers in a week would have been too mind-blowing, I think.
Well, it seems as though Sony decided not to release, and that's fair. I wonder if it'll happen this week. I wonder if it'll happen this week before the Spider-Verse movie goes full. I did have somebody who told me they went to go see it, and they said it was good. But I don't know. But yeah, what's interesting is that the trailer did get shown, I guess, in Brazil at some convention.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of a write-up on it a little bit.
If it exists, then that means they're just going to hold out for the Into the Spider-Verse.
I think so. Yeah. I think their thought process was, and in fairness, I understand it, which it was funny at the time when I heard it, which was, okay, Spider-Man's going to come out on Saturday, and then all of a sudden Avengers came out on Friday. Well, if I was Sony, I don't know that I would release it right after the Avengers trailer either. I think I'd let that die down.
Yeah, and even if just a few days after the Captain Marvel trailer, which
right.
which was released last week while we were broadcasting.
Yeah.
So.
Right, but yeah, it's funny because there's people who are like, oh, it's taking a darker tone. I don't know that I saw that really in that trailer. Did you?
I saw the bleakness, obviously. We saw tears, manly tears from Steve Rogers, and the last words of a man to his loved one trapped in space.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Not what I expected. But the only thing I didn't expect to see was Ronan.
I didn't expect them to show Ant-Man.
Yeah, it's like we kind of knew that eventually he's going to find his way out, but made for funny. It broke the ice, just like how, like at the end of one of the other trailers, where the exchange between Peter Parker and Doctor Strange. It's like, we're using our made-up names. So it kind of had to break the ice as like the end part of a trailer, Worked for that. But we all knew Ant-Man was going to be in Avengers 4 anyway. And now we can call it Endgame, because, spoilers, it's Endgame. That's the name of it, which we all kind of guessed because foreshadowing. There
was a lot of names that were out there. I heard the most prevalent I heard was Annihilation, but again, I don't know that I was... Unlike a lot of people, I wasn't all that worried about what the name of it was. I was just ready for a trailer at this point, and they didn't disappoint. I'm as equally as interested as I was before the trailer came out. I feel like this is going to be a really solid movie based on what I've seen so far in trailers. And I'm looking forward to it. I love the fact that they moved it up a weekend because it's my birthday weekend. And it's like Marvel just gave me a birthday present.
Mine too.
Very, very. There you go. So I'm happy about it because that gives me time that weekend to go see it. Yeah, I was surprised. Honestly, I was surprised they did that. So I mean, we know that Ant-Man obviously gets out of the quantum realm, but I didn't think that they would really kind of show us him in this trailer at that point. Although. Then again, they're not showing us Captain... There's only so many people they can show us when you stop and think about it as it is. They can't exactly show us any of the dead heroes, and they probably didn't want to show Captain Marvel. I think the only other things of note were, I guess one of the people who's missing is Shuri from Black Panther. But I don't know. I don't think she's dead.
No, there's no reason to go back to Wakanda yet because aren't they the Avengers? They all went back to the fortress or whatever in upstate New York.
It looks like that's what happened.
It's like where they all went. That's where Bruce and Thor and Natasha and Steve have all gone to.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Scott Lang's. That's the front door.
Yeah.
But we know what. Well, obviously, she's. Obviously back in Wakanda, but...
Actually, it's interesting. You know who we didn't see in the trailer now that I'm thinking about it?
We didn't see Rocket?
We didn't see Rocket. Wait, was Rocket alive? Yeah, Rocket was alive, right?
Yeah, he saw Groot turn to dust, yeah.
Right, so Rocket's alive, and he's supposed to be on Earth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting that we didn't see him. The other thing that was interesting that got pointed out to me, and I'll be honest, I don't remember the Infinity War books as well as others do, but I guess that scene with the Thanos outfit as a scarecrow comes...
Yeah, I guess that's a thing, yeah.
That comes directly straight out of one of the comic books.
Yeah.
Out of one of the comic books from the series where I guess at some point Thanos is actually doing kind of something similar to that. But I don't think the time frames are the same. But yeah, they broke the internet.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, it's funny now that I think about this. It's like, okay, I understand that episode 9's coming out, and I'm sure it'll have a lot of hype behind it. But look, going forward. Are there really any major movies that are that are on the horizon where we're like, it's gonna break internet trailer type stuff? Like,
maybe Wonder Woman 84?
Maybe. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. You know, it's going to be interesting to see because, and it's funny because, you know, really Marvel only had, originally Marvel planned on 2 movies coming out of this, which were Spider-Man Far From Home and the Guardians movie. And the Guardians movie got nixed for obvious reasons. They haven't talked a lot about what comes next after this.
No. I'm sure by the time Far From Home comes out, maybe we'll have our next project. But, I mean, they'll have to start filming early next year for it to be out in 2020.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming Far From Home comes out like July, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So really, in reality, it's possible that we'll see something that would leave an opening to show up at Comic San Diego in July at some point to talk about stuff like that. Unless they're going to wait for whatever that Disney thing is. I think it's D23 or whatever that is, their convention to drop that. But seems kind of like a long time to wait to drop what your plans are. But what essentially is Phase 4. You know,
safe bet, Black Panther 2.
Right. Doctor Strange 2. I mean, the question is what other than Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, at some point Guardians 3.
And at that point, maybe they can do the next Avengers with whatever new lineup we have.
I'm assuming a Captain Marvel 2, a Spider-Man number 3 possibly. Although I don't know. It's interesting. Boy, that Venom movie continues to make big money, and it's doing well in China. So, yeah. I'm curious to see what's going to happen when this deal that Marvel and Sony have signed ends. Because right now, if I'm
Sony's gaining leverage.
Right. If I'm Sony right now, I'm sitting there going, okay, we can apparently make movies with some of these Spider-Man characters, and yeah, let's get Spider-Man back. So, who knows? I'm very, like I said, I know Venom's a really popular character. I don't get it.
No, me neither. Isn't it coming out this month on digital?
Is it? I have no idea.
I think it is. I don't know if it's out on DVD in time for Christmas, but I think it's out on digital before Christmas, so I'll see it eventually, obviously soon, but...
Yeah, I don't know that I'd buy it as a DVD. No. I would certainly say you should see it for $5-6, whatever it costs, and that's it. I don't think I'd go any other direction with it, but yeah, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine who does a comic book podcast by the name of John Suntress, and it was funny. He's like, I wouldn't be interested unless it relates to Spider-Man, and how can you do that? I said, well, guess what? They really don't do that at all. Matter of fact, Spider-Man really isn't even a factor in this thing. So I don't know what else to think.
And now this Into the Spider-Verse opens Sony to the mainstream. Now they can do a Spider-Man movie about anybody. Now they can do a standalone Miles Morales Spider-Man, saying, "Oh yeah, that's the one from the Spider-Verse. It's just another Spider-Man. It could be another in its own little pocket."
Yeah, I'm curious to see how many people are really gonna go see this animated Spider-Man movie. I'm curious what the numbers look like. The one advantage is it's before. You're in an in-between time. It's been it'll be 4 weeks since Creed 2 and Ralph Broke the Internet came out. You still are ahead of, the big releases that are coming out in December, so it's possible you could make some hay here, but I'm still not sure that you're gonna. I don't. I just don't see where. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be very, very wrong about this. But I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again.
I'll see Spider-Man maybe over the weekend. If I can catch it as a matinee at my local theater. I finally went to my local theater here in town. It had been remodeled about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Mm.
And I finally went into it to check it out. And I saw the animated Grinch movie.
Mm.
And I liked it. First of all, well, my little theater was fine. It's small, but it used to be just 2 screens. Now there's 3.
Okay.
So that's cool. But yeah, I saw the Grinch. They were only in my local theater. Before the movie started, before the trailer started, it was just ads, like local ads, like the car dealerships that probably financed the remodel. And and then the trailers were just like the older teaser trailer for Mary Poppins and the first trailer for Lego Movie 2.
Yeah.
So they didn't even use like current trailers, but I'm fine with that. But anyway, Grinch, same studio that did the Minions and all that, and the Despicable Me and Secret Life of Pets. But it was fine. I was entertained. I liked it, actually. I liked it even more than Ralph Breaks the Internet, maybe just because my expectations were lower. My only problems was that it deviated a little bit from the source material about the background about the Grinch. They didn't take verbatim very many of the lines. I think Pharrell was the narrator for the Grinch, and of course Benedict Cumberbatch was the voice of the Grinch. But I liked it. I had a couple of good slapstick. I got a couple of good chuckles out of it. And it was probably just a good solid. And it's like running time, I think, was exactly an hour and a half. It was just the right speed. It was fine. I liked it. It was good, cute, charming little holiday film.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll buy the DVD next year and then have it. I mean, given the choice, I've obviously watched the 30-minute, the original, but I liked it. So there you go. 3.5 out of 5 yeah-mans.
Okay.
Oh, and the only other thing I had the issue with it was that it used a lot of contemporary songs in the soundtrack. Tim Burton, I noticed, did the score. I don't know if Tim Burton did the score for the Jim Carrey one or not. I want to think he did, but I don't know. But yeah, there were it had Brian Setzer's Jingle Bells and had Nat King Cole's the Christmas song in it. Just kind of shoehorned in. I mean, it was just playing in the background. But like I said, I got a couple of good laughs out of it, so I liked it a lot, so.
It looked interesting. I just wasn't, it's not something I was planning on going to the theater to see. And I'll probably, I may take a look at it once it comes out on demand or something like that. But otherwise, I'm kind of like, I can wait on it. But I thought it was a lot of the commercials and some of the tie-in stuff was funny. So
there were funnies in it that were not in the trailers, which is good.
That's good. That's a phenomenal thing.
Yeah. But was it Illumination Studios? There were the ones that I think they did that one called Sing, where all the animals sing in it.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm under the impression they're doing a second one. I just haven't heard much about it.
Okay.
It's funny. There was a lot of interest. There's a lot of interesting different pieces of news that came out since we last potted. Like, for example, there was a trailer for the live action Kim Possible. I thought this was going to the movies. Apparently, it's just going to Disney Channel, but it's for the Kim Possible movie. It certainly makes more sense why they've made some of the choices they've made in this. It's funny, I'm looking at the trailer at the moment, and I'm like, boy, it certainly seems very Disney Channel. Oh, wait, it's going to be on the Disney Channel. That makes a lot more sense. So,
well, the Disney Channel, don't they have all those shows where the kids are like superheroes and stuff? I don't know.
Yeah,
I never caught any of that.
I haven't watched in a while. I mean, I enjoyed the Kim Possible cartoon. I always thought it was fun.
Never saw it.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I liked Kim Possible. That was a good one. I always enjoyed Kim Possible. I thought it was a fun cartoon. So, I mean, I'm okay with that going to a live treatment. Then apparently Warner Brothers is in the process of working on a Plastic Man movie.
Okay.
Apparently, and so they've got someone writing a script on it. I thought that was interesting this week. Somebody was talking about that's their Deadpool.
It could be DC's answer to Deadpool, yeah.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
Yeah. Plastic Man didn't break the fourth wall.
Right.
He's kind of goofy, that's all. I remember the old Plastic Man Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I think Michael Bell was the voice of Plastic Man.
Was he? Okay. I don't know. It's funny because, it's funny you mention that because for a long time there were a lot of aspects where they haven't done anything with Plastic Man on TV and movies for a while, and I was under the impression that maybe that deal finally died. All that stuff with the cartoon stuff. I was under the impression that's one of the reasons why they stopped using him as much.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Headline, so-and-so superhero movie is in the works. Like, yeah. They all are, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I know. With DC, it's very interesting because that's kind of my comment, too, is it's like they have quite a few things that are in the pipeline, and then we don't hear about them ever again. Like, there's a Nightwing movie in production with somebody, and they're working on it, and we've heard practically nothing about it in a while. So, I don't know. I thought this was kind of amusing. Apparently, I don't know if you ever saw on Nickelodeon Kenan and Kel.
Nope.
Yeah, that may be past your point.
Yeah.
So Kenan and Kel were kind of popular in the 90s, I want to say, and they did that movie Good Burger.
Oh, I remember the name. I'm hearing that name, yeah.
So apparently they're talking about reconnecting to do a sequel after all this time. One guy's on Saturday Night Live. I think, I don't remember which one. I haven't watched that in ages, but.
Oh, I did catch the first half hour of Jason Momoa on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He had this one skit where he was one of the elves on the shelf, and he's reporting back to Santa, but his 13-year-old kid that he's been watching, well, he's reached that age where he's into a certain solo activity. And it's like, Santa, can I have a new kid?
Nice.
So it's kind of funny.
A couple other interesting pieces just like to throw through real fast.
Oh, yeah, I was going back to, do you know if you had any other points to make about the sequel to Good Burger, possibly?
No, I just threw it out there. I'm
Okay.
kind of shocked that they're even thinking about it. But I'm not sure if you know Brian K. Vaughan, the guy who did Why the Last Man or Saga, and he's done quite a bit of writing. But I guess he just signed an 8-figure overall film TV deal with Legendary. So that's again, this is somebody else where he does a whole bunch of stuff. His titles include Paper Girls, Ex Machina, Barrier, and We Stand on Guard on the TV side. He had an Emmy nomination for his work on Lost, Under the Dome. I didn't realize that Why the Last Man landed at FX. Maybe I missed that. But that's kind of a significant thing. And it seems like more and more we're seeing, if you've got some talent and you've got some ability to write and create content from a comic book perspective, and you've got any real following, guess what? At some point, you're getting one of these deals if you can prove yourself.
Yeah. Well, what do we got solid in the pipeline for 2019? We have Shazam, and we have Wonder Woman 84 eventually sometime. I don't know if they pushed it to 2020, didn't they say? I think it was a headline.
I think they pushed it.
I don't know why. I mean, they finished filming it, I presume. Maybe it just didn't test well, and they're reshooting it.
I thought they were still shooting.
I don't know. I presumed they were done.
Well, okay, here's interesting. Here's according to Rotten Tomatoes. This is from in November. The 65 most anticipated movies of 2019.
65.
Yeah, we're not going to go through all of them.
No, we're not. But it's like, I don't want to see 65 movies.
I
went to the as an aside, just before you begin, I've been to the movies more times this year than any time in my life. Because the content's been that good for me, at least that appealing.
Yeah, lately I feel like it's funny you say that because there's still stuff where I'm willing to pay to go to the movies to see.
I got two more.
Like that Green Book movie that you've seen previews for that I'd be willing to see that. That new Clint Eastwood movie looks interesting, The Mule.
Yeah, that Mule, yeah.
That looks interesting too. The Dick Cheney movie looks interesting to me as well.
I got a ton of Golden Globe nominations, yeah.
Right, I mean, it's funny, we didn't talk about that either, the Golden Globe.
It's Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Bad Cheney.
Bad Cheney.
Bad Cheney. Dick Cheney wearing a Batman mask, it has to happen.
Alright, so I'm just looking through here real fast. This is January 2019. Again, some of this stuff can change. Again, this is based on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know that this is 100% correct. Just looking at this here, that the Unbreakable sequel is coming in January. I didn't like Unbreakable. Did you?
Was that the movie about the Olympian? Or was I thinking about something else? What's the Unbreakable again?
This is the M. Night Shyamalan one. This is the one with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about that story, the movie, the Oscars, the story about the Olympian who was in the POW camp. Then he got out and he became an Olympic runner or something.
No, this is definitely not it.
No, okay.
This is definitely not it. This is based on, I can't remember when that movie came. It's but the Unbreakable was, God, it seems like forever. It was a Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson with M. Night Shyamalan.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. Looking at this, okay, the Lego Movie 2.
Yeah, Lego 2, that's in February, yeah.
In February. This Attila Battle Angel by Robert Rodriguez. I think I've seen stuff for that, but that doesn't really...
Yeah, I saw a trailer for that. Yeah, it was initially going to come out on the 21st, but they pushed it to January because Bumblebee and Aquaman, they flinched.
Yeah. March is kind of when things get interesting. Captain Marvel is in March.
Yep.
Dumbo is in March.
Although Disney competed with itself.
Well, it's not till later in March, it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff in between. I just don't recognize anything. April is Shazam.
And then the end of April is...
Well, interestingly enough, I didn't realize this. I guess the new Hellboy comes out in mid-April. And I was unaware of that. But apparently the new Hellboy movie comes out in mid-April. And then, like you said, Avengers Endgame is
the
there.
End of April, so
that Pokemon Detective Pikachu thing that people are intrigued by comes out in May.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's
anything good in June.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far. I'm looking to see what else is technically in May. Oh, the Aladdin live action is in May. The end of May. Godzilla King of Monsters is the last day of May.
Yeah, that trailer just dropped, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not.
Yeah. I got a friend of mine who's a big Godzilla fan, so.
Dark Phoenix is supposed to be June.
Oh, yeah.
Early June. And then the Men in Black spinoff is the following week. Is there a new Shaft movie coming out, apparently? Wow, that seems like a long time ago. Okay, so June is kind of packed. You've got Dark Phoenix, you've got a Men in Black spinoff, you've got Shaft, you've got Toy Story 4.
Oh, yeah.
And then July hits, so we're talking Spider-Man, the Lion King thing that, I don't know, that doesn't really... There's a Tarantino film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. New Mutants is supposedly in August. Hobbs and Shaw, which is a spin-off of Fast and Furious. That's kind of the summer. Oh my God, are they really making the Angry Birds 2? Ooh.
Did anyone see Angry Birds 1?
I didn't. I guess the second chapter of It comes out in September. There's a Downtown Abbey movie coming out in September that I wasn't aware of. Zombieland 2 in October. I guess that Joker movie.
Yeah, the Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah,
is in October. There's an Addams Family redo that's in October. Charlie's Angels apparently is in November. There's an untitled Terminator project for November. Kingsman 3 in November.
Yeah, isn't that, I heard that Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger are in it?
Yeah, I think so.
The Terminator? Another Terminator?
Yeah, both of them are in that. Yeah. There's a third Kingsman movie. That Sonic movie is coming out, I guess, in November next year. Here. Frozen 2. And let's see. December, the Jumanji sequel.
Of course they were going to make a sequel to that. That thing made a boat ton of money.
Yeah. Apparently there's a Masters of the Universe movie coming out again.
Yeah, I'd meant to see that documentary about Masters of the Universe.
So for those who are not aware, that's He-Man and She-Ra. Okay. I don't know if we'll have She-Ra, but we just might have... Who knows?
So yeah, 2019 is going to be packed, but...
Let's see. Obviously, episode 9.
Yep, in December.
And then I guess Wicked. I guess they're doing Wicked on the big screen. So that's kind of crazy.
Wicked with a D, not Wicket, the Ewok.
Wicked as in the Broadway play.
Okay.
Not Wicked. Well, that'd be interesting.
He's getting a solo movie instead of Solo.
Yeah. Wicked and the Wizard of Oz.
Okay, so long as we're on the subject, I guess this YouTube, I guess they put it on YouTube, but this indie film creator made this 15-minute movie called Bucketheads, an indie film about stormtroopers.
Okay. I know there's the whole thing about cops that they've done in the past.
Yeah. They show up to Uncle Owen and Aunt Veru's house. Yeah. And mayhem ensues. But this was supposedly kind of serial. Not serial, but I mean serious.
It
was alright. If you look, it's on YouTube. Look it up. Bucketheads. It's good. It's fine.
Are you gonna? You've kind of said no to Once Upon a Deadpool, right? You're gonna wait till.
I'll wait for the super duper DVD package with the PG-13 cut.
Okay.
Sure, I'm sure that's gonna be. You gonna go Wednesday?
I don't know. Well, I'm busy. I know Wednesday I'm going to an escape room thing for a holiday party. So I probably won't. I don't know. I might wait a week and see. Here's fun. You'll enjoy this. Apparently, Legendary's talking about rebooting the Toxic Avenger.
Okay. I remember seeing it on cable years ago. The original.
Yeah. It's such a god. It's
in this age of superhero movies that we've gotten this overload, this bevy of. I think if they do it right, it could be not close to Deadpool, but they could make good bank if they do it right. I think.
Maybe. I don't.
If it's tongue in cheek in the right amount.
And then the other thing is apparently they're bringing back Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV.
Okay. Nobody watches MTV, so okay.
I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I'll watch that. I guess Ice Cube's involved. I don't know why, but okay. Sure. But I'll watch that. That would give me a reason to go back to watching MTV once in a while.
But I remember watching Liquid Television with, what was it? The Max was one of them.
Yeah.
And there were several other ones. Liquid Television was a bunch of shorts. Had that anime style Ian Flux.
Yeah.
It was just trippy, man.
Yeah, Max was always a good book from what I read. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the only reason I mentioned some of that stuff is it just seemed like this was the week where we've been sitting around going, okay, what's going on out there? It's like, and it's like all of a sudden it was like, boom.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff was like.
Yeah, and I think next week we can do a big, 2018 interview. I'm going to have to write some notes down before the show.
Yeah, God forbid.
As far as my best and worst movies of 2018. The thing is, 2018, I won't be done seeing movies by next week.
Yeah,
I've got Bumblebee, and I want to see Aquaman. Aquaman, that's the thing, though, too. It took 4 months for the Aquaman trailer to get as many hits as the Infinity War, of an Endgame trailer got in a day.
Well, yeah. Well, in fairness, some of the early Aquaman trailers, it's taken them a while to figure out what they need to show to get people moving. And the only good news is that it seems like people are into it and interested. Yeah. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign for DC Comics.
Yeah.
That's a good sign for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
You know,
this weekend is the advanced screening for Amazon Prime users. Just like how this last weekend, Saturday, there was an advanced screening for Bumblebee. But from what I hear, both movies are good. So I will see both. And I probably catch that. I might even catch that Into the Spider-Verse over the weekend if I'm not busy on Sunday.
Yeah. It's funny. I know what I was going to say. So we now both have seen, because that's the other thing I did over the weekend I forgot to mention. I did see Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah.
Finally. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to not listen for a few minutes and then come back. Because I think we're going to get spoilery.
Yeah, I got minor spoilery last week. So yeah, we're going in. We're going all in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I expected more.
I did. Yeah.
Maybe I expected more. Maybe I really loved the first movie. And maybe I'm just holding it to a higher standard. I just didn't feel like this movie did nearly what the other one did. And yeah, I understand. After a while, I was just kind of like, okay. And it's not any fault of the people playing the characters or any of that. I just think it's the story kind of goes different weird places and they don't really have as much fun. They have fun with it in sections, and then it kind of starts to be they're just growing through the motions. Yeah.
You can see them like the storyboard. Okay, well, we have to have this scene. Okay, well, we have to have this scene. And the writing in those scenes didn't hold up. At least didn't engage me enough in certain scenes.
The other thing is it's kind of funny because it's like, okay, maybe it's just me, but it is not easy to get that trending that fast to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's in fairness, that could have been the whole movie. That could have been the whole movie right there. Is how long it took them to trend. I thought that they could have pretty much gone that whole route and dropped the other part of this whole thing, and that would have been great. But yeah, I don't know that you needed the part with the virus and all that stuff.
Yeah, that kind of was weird in that sense. And then at the end, where it's just a giant Ralph just wanting to be the friend, and there was no, like I said, it was no definitive villain in this movie, like how last one was Turbo. He was the villain. He was a great villain. And that was the thing I was worried, is this Yes chick, is she going to be the villain? Because she seems to be the one just dishing out the exposition. And she's the one who, if anyone would have a hidden agenda, it would be her.
Yeah, I don't know that I needed there to be a villain as much as I needed there to be a better direction. And I felt like once they've got the money, I feel like the whole thing takes a big giant right turn.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. And that's unfortunate. because I don't think that it needed to do that. I think they could have gone further. And to take it a step further, so much potential in that section with the Disney thing of things they could have done. Okay? With especially it's like you only put Vanellope there, you didn't have Ralph there at all. That's there was so much potential over there. So much. Where it's like, okay, it'd been interesting to see Ralph get chased around by stormtroopers. And not just Vanellope, the
whole Disney area where they could have just had all the Disney at once. And of course, it seemed like, it did seem a little bit like Disney waving their big dick around in this whole scene. Like, look at all the shit we own.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because some of the most amusing stuff would have been like, for example, okay, what if the Disney princesses beat up the stormtroopers? Yeah. That'd have been cool.
That'd have been a funny scene.
That'd have been a cool scene to have the princes square off against stormtroopers.
Yeah, could have been a real good girl power moment.
Well, even beyond that, it's just like, okay, that's something that nobody would ever sit there and go, wow, I never saw that coming, or that would be, like I said, that would have been interesting. It would have been fun.
Yeah. It was wasted potential almost from the beginning.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I'm with you. And I kind of feel, just like, honestly, it'd have been, you're right, in some ways it'd have been interesting if, I don't know that they needed to make Gal Gadot's character a bad guy, but it certainly would have been interesting to see a rematch between the two and have them have higher stakes for a race or something.
Yeah, I did like the song. I think that was my favorite part of the movie, was the song.
Yeah, that was kind of
amusing. Like the slaughter race song, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like there was a lot more that they could have done, and there was a lot of potential to it, and it was funny. The most interesting thing is, one of the best parts of the trailer when it first came out, to me, ironically, it didn't even dawn on me until I saw the first cutaway scene about, I hate when they put things in trailers that don't end up in the movies, and then they do the pancake milkshake thing.
Yeah.
Which I do think is hysterical, and I thought it was funny when they did it. And then obviously, I don't know, did you stick around all the way at the end?
No.
Okay.
What was at the very end?
Well, it's at the very end is Wreck-It Ralph doing a Rickroll.
Okay, all right.
Where he's basically singing "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't miss a ton there. But yeah, there was one all the way at the end for that. But yeah, I'm kind of with you in the glad I saw it. Kind of feel like you do.
Yeah. I wish I just
I
was hoping for more laughs. I got more laughs out of the Grinch than I did out of Wreck-It Ralph too.
I enjoyed it. Maybe because I paid matinee price, but I kind of, I'm glad I kind of went to see Creed first.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see that, but
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. No, it's after a while. I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of movies that are. Yeah. It's like suddenly right now. It's like all year I haven't been tempted to buy that A-list thing. I'm like, I'm not going to see that many movies in a month, and I'm like, now all of a sudden I'm like, I could see that many movies in a month. I could see $20 worth of movies this month. I could easily do that. I don't know about next month, but this month I could.
Yeah. I started budgeting these out for next year.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like I said, I think it's, I'm with you. I was really kind of surprised that they just they had so much potential, and they left so much of it on the table. And I don't know. I'm curious. I'm kind of curious, to be honest with you, how exactly they're going to get it, if they're going to get to a third one. And because that they made enough money to think about a third one.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at the numbers yet, and I think it's in the 80s, low 80s, I think, for the sequel. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, but like I said, I enjoyed The Grinch more than I did Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm reading the reviews about how it doesn't add anything, or how it's just all about the Grinch and Cindy Lou, and she's obviously more than two in this. Like I said, it deviates from the source material, and I'm okay with that. So did the Jim Carrey one, which I've not seen for a long time in its entirety, and I don't think I will again. I don't know, it's kind of tainted memory of that. I don't know, it just doesn't seem interesting to me anymore. But I liked the Grinch just because it was funny, and it had a couple of, one or two little tender moments. But I had a better time watching it.
Okay, so
maybe just because I'm in the Christmas spirit. That might be too. Because right out of the theater, I did a little shopping, playing the songs in the truck as I'm driving around, and people with the shoppers. So I don't know. Maybe that was part of it too.
So apparently, this is the third week in a row that Ralph Breaks the Internet is number one at the box office. Your number for domestic for the last 19 days is 140 million.
Wow. Okay.
And they're talking about a worldwide total tally of 258, a little over 258 million.
Yeah, they're okay.
So yeah, I suspect. Yeah,
well, like I said, that's why the Grinch moved a couple of weeks up. But there are these smaller theaters, like my local theater. They know that people want to see the Grinch after Thanksgiving, and so they're showing it still. But in the same theater, they were also showing Ralph 2.
I think the most interesting thing is, so I guess Warner Brothers is already showing. I guess Warner Brothers already sent Aquaman to China. That was the release date. Apparently, it was this weekend. And they're saying that over the weekend in China, Aquaman took in American dollars about 93.6 million.
Okay.
So if that's the case already, there's a reason why I think they're already talking about a second Aquaman movie. Yeah.
Has it been greenlit? Or is it just in the works with every other movie?
I don't know. I would assume after that number, it's pretty much based on tracking and things. I would imagine that it's, I don't know. Like I said, it's interesting because The Grinch was number 2 this week at 15.2.
Yeah.
It doesn't show me full numbers for The Grinch, but Creed was third, which is interesting. I think it's interesting timing.
On Rotten Tomatoes, Aquaman 2 is in the works, but this was dated 4 days ago, so it might have been even before the Chinese premiere. So
could have been.
Obviously, everything's in the works. So until we get a cast and a director, then we'll see.
Yep. So I threw this out here. I thought you'd get a kick out of this. Okay. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Apparently, there was a poll on most beloved holiday movies. Number 1 is with a bullet at 83% is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Now, is this the original animated? I presume it is, because that's the only one there really is, because then it's a special, it's not a film.
Yeah, I'd say it's the animated.
Okay, yeah, that would be the 50-whatever-year-old animated special.
Right. So number 2 would be the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yep, just watched it on Saturday, actually.
Number 3 is Frosty the Snowman, tied with How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not a super big fan of the animated Rankin Bass, Jimmy Durante, Frosty.
I
just like the Happy Birthday. I'm fine with it, but I won't go out of my way to see it.
Okay, so the Grinch That Stole Christmas, that's tied at 80%.
Now, is that, I presume that's the original animated, too.
Yeah, that's the animated.
Yeah.
The first, now here's interesting. Any guesses at what would be number 5?
Now, is this specials or films?
They claim it to be films.
Okay. Because some of these are 30-minute specials, some of them are half-hour, or, 1-hour specials.
Apparently, they list they list Charlie Brown and maybe they originally came out as films.
Okay. Well, then, one of my favorites, one of my favorites is the BB Gun movie, but I might say the Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation is not in the top 10.
Okay.
But you're talking about A Christmas Story is actually number 6. It's 72%.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 5 is quite obvious. When I say this out loud, you're gonna go, oh yeah, totally. Which is It's My Home, I Must Defend It. Big Chicago.
Christmas tree. It's not Elf. And that's New York. What is it?
Home Alone.
Oh, I don't consider that to be a Christmas movie. I know it does take place during Christmas, but it's not one of me like, oh boy, it's Christmas. Time to turn on Home Alone. That ain't me.
I do notice it gets played a lot during that time frame. So yeah, Christmas Story was 6.
Okay.
A Christmas Carol, followed by Polar Express, which is a phenomenal movie.
I don't like the Polar Express.
You don't?
No, I just don't like those CGI soulless dead eyes of everyone.
Wow.
That's just me. That's what creeps me out. Wow. Tom Hanks does a fine job.
It's funny because Polar Express is one of those ones at the end that, I have to pretend I'm not crying. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it, but that just ain't for me.
No, that's fair. The rounding out is It's a Wonderful Life and a Miracle on 34th Street. I'm assuming that's the original.
Yeah, the old black and white Natalie Wood.
Here's interesting. 25% of Americans consider Die Hard to be a Christmas movie, while 62% say it's not, with men slightly more likely than women to say Die Hard is a Christmas film.
Bullshit!
Yeah.
I'm watching it Christmas Eve, I'm gonna get shit-faced.
Yeah, I have a feeling that those numbers are gonna change.
Yeah.
Are gonna change over time. I depends on what age groups you're talking about, but I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
This is the 30th anniversary, so it's a big deal. Yeah. And it preceded Batman. I remember. I think in Die Hard 2 they made a reference to Batman because Die Hard 2 came out in 90 because Batman came out in 89. I do remember that distinctly.
Uh-huh.
And had Dennis Franz from NYPD Blue was the one cop who didn't listen to McClane, and anyway.
Yeah.
No, I watched it. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. The family watched it, and I have it over here. And other Christmas movies I did, as far as A Christmas Carol goes, you mentioned that it was number 7 or number 8 was A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Now, there's several versions. I do like the George C. Scott one, but I did like the Jim Carrey, the Bob Zemeckis one, like the CG animated one, where everyone was rotoscoped. Or motion capture.
About the original here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Interesting facts. 60% of audiences say feeling nostalgic towards the titles is an important factor when pairing a movie with their Coco. And 65% are saying they're more likely to sit down and watch a holiday film they consider to be a classic.
And Your Thought of Santa Claus is not in there. I'm upset. I like that. That's my favorite. I like the Snow Miser and the Heat Miser song.
Well, like I said, those are the top 10 ones. They didn't have a full-on list. They just happened to mention that. They just happened to mention about the Die Hard thing. So I thought it was kind of amusing. Speaking of amusing, I swear, how do I say this nicely? I can't say it nicely.
Well, then say it in your usual Jeff fashion.
How stupid are people to go ahead and go to NASA that they need to rescue Tony Stark from space?
I think maybe they'll just hashtag in them or in tweets. Just kind of like, hey, at NASA, Twitter, save Tony, hashtag or whatever. It's like, come on. I think a lot of people, I think for the most part, people are just doing it in fun. But
you think so?
I think a majority of people are just doing it out of fun.
Okay.
Joke.
Do you realize NASA had to put out an official statement?
Yes.
NASA had to put out an official statement, and now they're going to Elon Musk to see if they can go to SpaceX to go get him.
Said the star, man.
Like, who's got this time? Seriously.
It's the internet. Nobody has any time to do anything real.
Oh, God. It's like, this is the stuff where it's like, I swear, it's like sometimes I really am kind of laughing. It's like, we got 400,000 people to sign this petition to, like, make, like, I don't know, chipmunks, the shape of chipmunk bald. I don't know. It's gotten to that point. I mean, I just don't. Am I crazy, or is this?
Yeah, I know. Well, a study just came out that watching at screens is altering your brain. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't say. I don't know where the headline is, but it does. It's altering your brain patterns. Looking at screens on your phones. It's been proven. I just can't find the headline right here. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I presume I just laughed at it and went on with my day. Well, like obviously he's a fictitious character. So
yeah. Well, that's kind of what.
It's not real. He's not really out in outer space. Robert Downey Jr. is in Hollywood, so don't worry about it.
It's one thing when it's in fun. It's another thing when you start to write a petition. Are you kidding me?
They were tired of people probably tagging them in all their tweets when they're erupting over the Avengers 4 trailer. So it's funny, you don't call Ultron like Avengers 2. We've been calling it Avengers 4 for months now because now we have a title. So now I'm just trying to call it Endgame.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, we're gonna have to remember.
Yeah, it's Endgame. It's not Avengers 4. I keep been saying Avengers 4 since early this year. So. Yeah.
Well, like I said, we got some time.
Yeah, people got time, so they're tagging NASA in all their tweets, and NASA's like, "Stop it, y'all! Stop it, y'all! Please quit it." It's like that picture I posted earlier. Vince Neil, he looks like the Bumble Snow Monster, and he's all like, "Stop sending me this shit."
Yeah. I just continue to kind of, I don't know, shake my head sometimes because it's like, I just am like, maybe I'm the one who doesn't get it. It's like, it's the part where I'm kind of like, there's enough people who want to be like stupid nerds. Now we're just helping them. So what do you play over? You played a game, right? What did you play on Sunday?
We had our game night. Yeah, my week was fine. By the way, we're an hour into the show. How was your week, Mike?
Sorry. I thought we did. I thought we talked about. No, I guess we didn't.
Well, we did. I didn't recap my week, but that's fine. We just talked about our movies, and the trailers. Where I was like, oh, trailer. Now the only other thing I did, like I said, Sunday I saw The Grinch and liked it, and did some shopping and. The store was crazy, so I had to get in and out of there. Didn't even enjoy my shopping experience.
Oh yeah.
I was just there to get a couple of things, and it was like, get me out of this madness. This is madness. So got back and had dinner, and then Sunday night was our last game night of 2018. We played Thunderstone, another one of these boxed deck building games.
Okay.
Where it's us versus the deck of monsters.
Okay.
But as the monsters appear, they're further into the darkness. So as they appear further out of the darkness, then they're easier to kill. And as level 1, level 2, and level 3 monsters appear, you have to have time to build your deck to get better weapons, to upgrade your troops. But it's fun, though. And then as you get victory points, like the ones that escape, the ones you don't kill, go into an escaped pile. And then it's add up the victory points of all the monsters you killed versus the pile of monsters we didn't kill. And we also played the DC deck building game expansion. I would think it was like Forever Evil, I think was the expansion. I really like the mechanics. I know I mentioned this earlier, but I really like the mechanics of the DC deck building game. It's simple, it's fun to play, it's out of the box, boom, here you go. And there was one, we did the expansion called Forever Evil, where we were playing evil characters.
Okay.
I was Black Manta. My other buds were Black Adam and Luthor.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, if you get the chance, I'd recommend it because it's fun. I enjoy it. It's right out of the box.
So basically, it's what? It's like a DC card.
Yeah, it's a DC card deck building game.
Oh.
Yeah. Where everyone starts with a base deck of pretty much, ones and zeros.
Mm-hmm.
And you go from there. As your deck, you can purchase equipment, superpowers, heroes, and locations that will augment whatever cards you happen to want to purchase. As you go along the way, you can defeat villains, and those villains can either give you victory points or whatever the scenario games, whatever the particular game scenario is you're running. But yeah, I'm really fond of that game, so I'm tempted to get it myself just because I like it. But it was like my friend has it, but I was like, just a chance. But anyway, so that was fun. Had a good game night, and like I said, it's like, well, okay, and this being the holidays, where usually it's every other Sunday. Where it's difficult for us to get, the holidays, the Sundays. Well, 2 Sundays is the 23rd. That's no good because that's tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and then New Year's is like, So
yeah.
Probably not going to have another game night until January. So it sucks, but oh well. But it's fun.
No, it sounds interesting. So is it? It's all cooperative, right? It's not kind of like, okay, it's every man for himself in some ways.
Yeah, you can play cooperative or you can play competitive. I mean, there are certain cards, especially cards in the Forever Evil deck, where you can play a card saying, okay, draw a card, and you can either play it or put it in your opponent's discard pile or something like that. So yeah, or you can play competitive, and if you happen to beat the deck of villains or whatever, and then you can add up your own victory points in your individual deck and see which player came out on top that way.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's my one issue with board games is I got to a point where it stopped. I was playing with too many people who it was uberly competitive, and they'd forgotten that we're here to have a good time.
Yeah. We've gotten to the point where most of the games we play are competitive because we have one guy who is a stickler about rules, and the other guy, sometimes he forgets rules, sometimes, but not all the time. But we're a little loose with the rules sometimes because we've been playing it for some of these games we've been playing for a long time. But I think we've mentioned this earlier on one of our podcasts about competitive versus cooperative gaming. And yeah, you're right. It can be fun just to play as a group. But when you're up against the guy to your left and the guy to your right, and it's like you can turn into like that scene in The Sopranos where Tony and Bobby Bacala go to fisticuffs over the Monopoly game.
It's really funny you mentioned Monopoly that way. So, at one point
Well, that's the one game everyone knows that everyone ends up hating each other.
So, when I was president of GameBase 7, which is a non-profit game group, at one point they ran the largest independent program at Gen Con, the Gen Con Game Fair, and we used to run a Monopoly tournament, and we had the final game, and the next thing I know, the entire table's coming over up in arms, and I'm like, and I hadn't been one of the people who had been administrating the table, but I'm like, all right, if there's one game I can help with, it's Monopoly. I'm like, tell me what the hell's going on. And they start telling me stuff, and they've made all kinds of these crazy-ass deals.
Oh, they're making okay.
And all kinds of stuff about this and that, and it's like, and I'm just like, y'all are nuts. I mean, it was like the most cutthroat game, and I feel like I play Monopoly, and I enjoy Monopoly, and I've been cutthroat before.
Yeah.
But this was downright impressive. Things that was like, well, this isn't technically in the rules, so it's okay that you can do this. That's like, oh my god.
Well, they were making deals like with promises to go along with it, saying, okay, if I buy this railroad off of you, you're not going to buy this property. And then the guy who go in and buys the property and pisses the guy off. I mean,
oh no, things like, okay, I'm going to make a deal with you so that if you land on my properties, you don't owe me money. As long as if I land on your properties, I don't owe you money.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That can be a one-sided deal real fast.
It can be.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly, that's what happened.
That's not in the rules.
There was all kinds of stuff where, like, it was funny because I remember it was like they had to bring the original administrator over because I'm just sitting there going, okay, just because it's not in the rules doesn't mean you should do it. Y'all are acting like a bunch of crazies. It's freaking Monopoly. Come on now.
And was there a cash prize involved?
There's a trophy.
Oh, just a trophy. Okay.
Well, it was a big trophy.
Okay.
But it wasn't exactly as
big enough trophy to throw the game up on the table.
Yeah, hey, people who are competitive board gamers, when they're at something like that, oof.
Yeah, I've seen competitive gaming both in like board games, card games, video games. Yeah, that's why I don't play online video games anymore. I used to play a lot of games on the Xbox anymore. I don't do it anymore because now online gaming is all these foul-mouthed 12-year-olds using their big brother's console playing Call of Duty. No, I don't do online like what they call multiplayer anymore. No, I don't do that. That can get pretty toxic pretty fast.
I will play with certain friends. I will not go out of my way to do exactly what you talked about, which is I'm not going on there and especially because I'm not very good at things usually. Especially because I don't play very often. But, you know, if I have a friend of mine who has a LAN set up where we'll all play StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2.
That's cool.
We do it in-house as a group. And usually it's us against the computer because the computer, especially in StarCraft 1, the computer cheats like nobody's business in StarCraft 1. I mean, I've seen it do things where I'm like, that's not even possible. Which makes it challenging, in my opinion.
But at least it's a non-entity you can't get mad at and wait for it to seek revenge on you.
Yeah, well... No, it does at some point. If you're not careful, that computer's got a mean streak.
In the 20 years I've been online, I mean, like when I started, it was 98 when I got my first computer. I think it had Windows 3.1 on it. And I got on the internet, and one of the first things I did is I bought Risk. And I'd play against the computer at Risk all the time. And there were times I would just throw something, just so mad, because the computer would roll just the right die roll to win an impossible battle.
Yep.
And then it would just blow you away the next turn.
Yeah.
It would get a set. So.
Yeah. No. Well, you know, you have all that fog of war on some of those games, and it's like you have no idea where they are, but magically they know where you are, and they've come right to you.
Yeah. Right.
Like. On the third turn in the game, and you're like, okay. Yeah, that's always to me where I'm like, okay, I don't. This is kind of why I went to role playing. Although there are knuckleheads in role playing.
Yeah. You remember I've heard some stories from you about how you're how they get distracted by side quests and they're totally missing the point of the story you wrote.
Oh, there's that, and then, you know, I played an ongoing Star Wars game, and there are times where you're just like, hey, are you gonna let someone else play? There are like 6 of us at the table. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna let any of us do anything? Because you're technically not supposed to be there. How are you in 5 places at once? Could you explain that one to me?
Right. You're not there. Exactly right.
Right. You're not there. Stop it. It's like
that old, was it Dr. Demento where's that old Dungeons and Dragons, skit came from? Where I'm getting drunk. Are there girls there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
We got any more Doritos? I bet missile.
They're in the fridge.
Yeah.
Now I haven't role played in years. We just play usually just a miniature game or a card game. Like I said, I haven't done any computer gaming or online or console gaming, what they call it.
Yeah. Like, the closest I've done to, like, any type of console gaming is, like, Madden or something like that. I haven't done any in a while. It's not that I'm not interested. It's just, one, I have enough things that suck my time. I don't need another one.
Right. It's like I posted today. Oh, no, I posted last night about game night. I had another one of my Facebook friends post me saying, "You're not playing the new Transformers card game that just came out?" And I said, "No, I'm not falling down that rabbit hole of another blind-packed collectible card game."
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
No, I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah, just like, it was funny because it's like there's lots of cool role-playing games, but I'm not buying the books anymore because I found out what basically happens, which is it's like, oh, this is really cool, we should play it. Great, you're going to run it for us. Okay, that was not how I envisioned this going. I envisioned at some point I was going to get to play. Yeah. Not, I bought this stuff so I can learn how to run it for all of you.
Well, at that point you have to make an arrangement with the group saying, okay, we'll take turns DMing or GMing.
You would be surprised sometimes how hard that is to get people to do that, because it's like there are some people it's just like, okay, not doing it. Nope. Or I'll never forget. There was one. You'll enjoy this. We were supposed to do. I had convinced 3 people that they were all supposed to, that regularly knew how to run D6 Star Wars to work together to run it like an ongoing. So they could rotate in, they could do and they could play. And I don't know why they didn't talk to each other, but the first guy goes and creates an entire scenario with an alternate universe and all kinds of stuff. And the other 2 were like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. And I'm like, great, there went the entire thing. There went the entire thing. We're back to one of us who usually has to run. That's why sometimes at conventions after a while I'm like, nope, I'm playing.
Yeah. So now, Gen Con is here and gone, and we've had all the teasers, and now this is the time where a lot of the new games come out because it's Christmas season and people are buying gifts for each other.
Right.
Are there any games that you saw at Gen Con that are out now that you're really looking to buy?
Well, I didn't go this year, so
I know you didn't go to Gen Con, but Gen Con is when they tease they have the demos.
Yeah.
In this video age of internets, we can see these games being demoed. And
I'm not the right person to ask this one. And the reason I say that is I'll play stuff and I'm interested, but again, this also means that Jeff has to buy books and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to play board games, but sometimes it's like finding the right people to play board games where it's like, let's just have a good time. The next thing you know, it's like everything just turned into it's like, come on.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I've got a couple of guys who are pretty easygoing, so sometimes there have been days where I've had to talk 1 or 2 of them, and if not both of them at the same time, I'd talk them down the ceiling. Yeah, you got to find the right group, that's for sure.
Oh no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got people who will play, but I'm telling you right now, it's like there's times where it's like, do I really feel like being this much of a dick? Because there are certain people that have certain tendencies. Like, there are certain people where it's like, if you send them on a collision course with one another, you should be fine the rest of the game. It's like, I could do that. Do I really want to be that much of a jerk? Well, that would get rid of both of them. That would be good.
Yeah, there's a new Battlestar Galactica, like spaceship combat game.
Okay.
I was looking at. I caught a YouTube video of an unboxing and a quick demonstration. I did buy Star Trek Ascension last year, and we played it once because it's a long-ass game, and we usually don't have that much time on a Sunday night when we all go to work Monday morning. So we've been trying to arrange like a Friday night or a Saturday night. Our schedules just haven't gelled. So I'm thirsty for a Starship combat game of some sort. Back in the 90s and the late 80s, early 90s, I had the old FASA Starship combat game, like the Star Trek one, and I love that game. But I want a different kind of spaceship combat game, and this one has come out. It's by Ares, and it has like you can just play it on a board, on a flat mat anywhere, pretty much. I've got a black tablecloth specifically for this, but. Yeah. Like I say, when I bought Ascension last year, I had enough left on the Amazon card. I was like, okay, I'll buy a black tablecloth because I have a white table. But anyway, this Battlestar Galactica game looks good. Right now, it's just all like the reboot, the newest version of it. Tricia Hulfer, Cylons of anywhere, but those Cylon Raiders and the Colonial Vipers, and they say eventually they're going to release like the classic versions, like the old 80s, the 70s Galactica,
Okay.
Coming out. The Dirk Benedict as Starbuck, not the, what's her name? Katie Sackhoff as Starbuck. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to get into this, and I asked the guys last night, so would you guys be interested if I bought this game? Would you guys play it with me? And one guy was like, and the other guy's like, It's like, that's not... It's like, I want to play. And most of the time, it's the guys. I'm not the one buying these games all the time. It's usually my two friends. They bring their games. They have these discounts or whatever that these marketplaces or these websites, or they get into the Kickstarters and the crowdfunders, so they can get these games early. And then when they finally come out, it's like, oh yeah, I got my game. I can try it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll buy it maybe. Hopefully, one of them will play it, especially if it works. I can try it out, like pit one Viper against one Raider and see what happens.
I think if anything, I'm looking for. Personally, I'm probably looking for. I wish I could find a easy to understand superhero RPG that people would be willing to play. It was funny. I used to run the old school TSR from the 80s Marvel Superheroes game.
Yeah, my friend had that back in the day.
It still exists. It's still out there. There's still places where you can get stuff for it, too, and everything. You can even just download the books and everything practically for free, or at least there used to be. I can't remember the name of the site, but it had practically every book. It was great.
Yeah.
But it was funny. For a while, I was running like a superhero game for a while, and it's like, I was like, all right. I got overwhelmed a little bit too, which is a twofold problem. Which was one, I was running multiple groups at the same time, and I was creating like the Steinverse, and and it was funny because sometimes people would show up, sometimes people wouldn't. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and exactly. When you have missing characters and you want to run a campaign, you can't.
Right.
Then if somebody else runs it and the character gets killed, then you're in real trouble.
Well, I never have anybody run their character that isn't there. So the other thing I thought you might find interesting is I know that they do these at some of the conventions. They do like this Artemis Bridge game, where it's kind of like almost like as if you were like running like a ship, like the Starship Enterprise kind of thing.
Oh, is that VR or whatever?
Is it VR? I don't know if it would be considered
VR, but
I have a friend of mine who has enough of a setup. The guy who is the same setup for when we play StarCraft and stuff, where he's got like the big screen and he can put it up on the big screen, and then he has enough computers where we can like set up like somebody is at like can fire, somebody can like do engineering, somebody can do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've looked into that. It looks great. I think I don't know if it was PlayStation VR or not, but I think it was out for the PS4.
This was actually something for a computer called ARC. It's not actually for a console. It was actually for
for the PC.
For PC called Togolese. And there's like people who have really nice versions of this, but like I said, where they've got like a really nice setup and they bring it to like conventions and stuff. But again, this is something where if you've got enough people and computers and you can hook up and all that stuff, yeah, you can do it, and kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, I'd kill for. It's funny, I have some people who keep trying to pull me in to play-by-post play games online, and I just never get into that as much because it's like, okay, I got to write up all this whole thing, and I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I got to write all this stuff, and it's like, I don't want to write all this stuff. I just want to roll some dice and.
It's unusual how often our play becomes work.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, it got to the point too, and it was funny because there's somebody who's got one that's kind of, I guess, based on Mutant X, which is on Fox. Not Mutant X, The Gift. The Gifted. And that's on Fox. And it looked interesting, but I was just like, am I really going to spend time sitting here writing this stuff? Because I didn't do it the last time. I don't know. We can talk more about it next week, but we're two of the 3 episodes into the Elseworlds crossover for the DC CW shows.
Yes, and how is that going?
Last year's was really, really good. Okay? When I say really, really good, like, wow. Like, it was funny because that was around the same time Justice League came out. And everybody's talking about Justice League, and I'm like, well, it's good. And then this came out, the Crisis on Earth X thing came out, which was 4 episodes, and it was just like, whoa, that looks great. This is incredible. And it was funny because you're like, if they can do this, how come they can't figure out how to do it on the freaking movie? So this time there's no Legends of Tomorrow. It's just based in Flash, Green Arrow, and Supergirl. And while it certainly has been interesting and there's been some interesting wrinkles, I feel like it's really taking a while to get to the point. And it's funny because we're already at the 3rd episode, and I'm like, I feel like we haven't done much, if you know what I mean. They haven't done much. I mean, the first episode really. Don't get me wrong, it was cool to see what they did, and it was interesting, but I kind of wanted them to get to the plot points a little bit more.
When does the 3rd episode air?
Tomorrow.
Okay. That's Tuesday, the day after we record.
Right, sorry. That would be Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, has Batwoman shown up yet?
Yeah, that's in episode 2.
Okay.
Episode 2 is... Well, I guess if there's people who are watching, I guess we can go into spoiler mode. Some of this is spoiler mode. Some of this is. I gotta be careful. Well, let's try it anyway.
All right. Well, give us like 5 minutes. Skip 5 minutes ahead then.
So the long and short of it is, Barry wakes up and everybody thinks he's the Green Arrow and has all the Green Arrow's abilities, and Oliver wakes up and everybody thinks he's Barry and has all the Flash's abilities. So basically, Oliver Queen has super speed, and Barry has all the skills of the Green Arrow.
Oh.
Because essentially there's the Book of Destiny, and somebody went in there to rewrite something, this villain, and he got it from, well, here's the big one, the Monitor. And anybody who knows anything about DC Comics knows the Monitor means at some point we're talking about the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is interesting because tonight, which would be Monday night, he referenced that he's looking for heroes for a major thing that's up to come and all this kind of stuff. And I know what he's talking about, and a lot of other people know what he's talking about. And obviously it's been foreshadowed in The Flash a little bit. But, so yeah, like the first episode, essentially, it's them trying to convince everyone on Earth 1 that they're who they are. So they have to go get Supergirl on Earth 38 because she's not affected. They do bring Superman back with them, which is kind of cool. They do bring in a classic Justice League villain that I was surprised to see. and I thought it was cool to have them. I'm curious to see if they ever go back to it. If they ever decide to go back to it, because I think it'd be cool if they did. Although I think we said to skip ahead, so I could sit there and say Amazo.
Okay.
So it was kind of interesting to have Amazo, and it was interesting to watch. You know, obviously Amazo's now fighting with Superman and Supergirl and Arrow and Flash and, you know, a couple of the other, Killer Frost. You get the idea. So, but really in reality, that
Killer Frost isn't he? Well, I thought it was Captain Cold.
Captain Cold is in there. Killer Frost it's funny, in the comics, Killer Frost is a villain. On the Flash, she's part of Team Flash.
Okay.
It's her and Cisco is Vibe. From the old Justice League Detroit days.
Okay.
And it's funny because they've had Ralph Dibny on the show too.
Okay.
So it's funny because you've kind of got a little bit of a Justice League Detroit thing going on on Flash.
Okay. But you are liking it so far? I mean,
I'm enjoying it. There's definitely some moments where it's interesting to watch the interplay between them all.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's not, I want boom, boom, boom action. You know, they introduced Gotham tonight. They kind of introduced Batwoman tonight. They're, you know, like I said, I thought this episode would go a little deeper or a little faster.
Well, hopefully tomorrow the big finale is going to be worth it.
Right. I mean, the other thing is, and they've been showing this, so it's not really a spoiler. One of the other things is that John Wesley Shipp is playing Barry Allen from the original Flash series from, what is it, the 80s or the 90s? And he shows up. So it's been kind of interesting. I thought that was kind of cool.
All right. Well, we'll give your thoughts on it next week when we've seen the finale, the third part. And by then, hopefully, I'll have watched a couple more episodes of Titans.
Yeah.
I'm 3 episodes in, and hopefully the time we're recording, I will have met with a friend of mine, and he and I were going to watch a couple more episodes, so we'll get more our thoughts on that.
You know, I'm not usually one to complain about that it's not like the comics about stuff. That's the one place where it's like, yeah, it's like, it was funny, I was talking to another friend of mine who saw some of the episodes, and I'm like, that's the one I complain about. And he's like, yeah, you're not going to be happy. I'm like, okay, at least we're going to be honest about this.
Okay.
So, all right, I guess it's that time, right?
Yes, I think it's just about that time, Jeff, where we're going to do a quick little lightning round of our unusual news. Yeah.
So this one, apparently, this was just a clipping. This was just a clipping from an article. A woman by the name of Deborah Jackson says she likes shopping at the Dollar Palace because it's convenient and casual. Quote, I don't have to get all dressed up like I'm going to Walmart or something.
I didn't know you dressed up to go to Walmart. I don't think anyone did.
I mean, what? So we're saying, what? Here's the real question. What does she dress like to go to the Dollar Palace? Bunny slippers? Robe? I don't know.
There's a website for Walmart fashion, and it ain't good.
Yeah, I can't imagine it is. This one here from our wonderful state of Illinois. Illinois high school football players suspended for running naked with Oreos wedged in their buttocks.
Okay.
Yeah. This is from Byron, Illinois.
And this snack on the go.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. Suspended 10 football players for stripping naked and running across the field with Oreo cookies between their buttocks last month. Dubbed the Oreo Run, the streaking incident was voluntary and not related to hazing. Yeah.
So that happened.
That happened, yeah. Okay. I'm like, okay, so what, Nutter Butters weren't available?
Oh.
I mean, no, I don't know. What? it's just like, why would you run with Oreo cookies? I mean, that's just, there's so many other...
Anything with any kind of filling in them wouldn't be a good idea to begin with.
Yeah, I don't get it. I just thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So this has been kind of out there. I guess PETA, and it was funny, this is what I wanted to talk about last week, but I forgot. PETA wants us to stop using anti-animal language.
Why not?
Things like kill two birds with one stone, eat a dead horse, be a guinea pig, bring home the bacon, take the bull by the horns. Here's the part I found amusing. Here's what they'd like us to say instead. Feed two birds with one scone.
Oh my God.
Instead of be a guinea pig, be the test tube.
Okay.
Instead of beat a dead horse, feed a fed horse.
Feed a fed horse.
Bring home the bacon. Instead of bring home the bacon, bring home the bagels.
Okay.
And instead of take the bull by the horns, take the flower by the thorns. Why would you do that?
This sounds like a Flanders thing.
Oh my God.
Sounds like some PC parody. I mean, this sounds like an Onion article.
It does, and yet it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like, are you that offended? Can we really? I mean, we're not talking about you have to eat it. We're not saying that's just
I'm not killing actual birds by saying I want to do two things at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, you're promoting that with your language. It's like,
you know what?
I
had chicken for dinner, so F you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I had turkey sausage and turkey pepperoni on my pizza.
All right.
That's not changing.
How is turkey pepperoni?
Not bad, but it was on my pizza, so
okay.
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
You know,
if you liked it, then good.
As long as we're talking about food, there's apparently a study that says a Harvard professor says you should only eat 6 fries at a time as a proper portion.
F that guy.
Yeah. That's like, how do you do that? Oh, I'm just going to eat 6. You know, okay, I'm sorry. If you're like some supermodel girl, you do that.
Or if you have your own meal with your own side and you steal 1 or 2 fries from another guy's, then that's when we have less than 6.
Yeah.
When you're topping one off of your other guy, your buddy's plate.
Yeah. No, you know, I don't think that one's going to go over. Here, okay, and this one from the Daily Mail, so we'll treat it with a grain of salt. Or am I allowed to say that? I think I am.
No, there's no salt offensive groups yet.
Okay. Apparently, Mike, we need to get rid of our nonstick frying pans and fast food packaging because men's penises are a half inch smaller if they're exposed to high level of chemicals in nonstick frying pans and fast food packaging while in the womb.
In the womb?
Apparently. Our children are then to be affected for life this way. Scientists have found that they could be a half inch shorter. Scientists have found that chemicals called PFCs can interfere with male hormones and lead sexual organs to being significantly shorter and thinner. This effect is not only seen in the womb. This can have toxic effects on teenagers too. The chemicals are found in waterproof clothing, grease-proof packaging for food, and get into the bloodstream and reduce testosterone levels. My God.
Okay, first of all, how does grease-proof packaging for fast food get into the womb? Secondly, I don't have to worry about that because I saw this pop-up ad the other day where it says I can gain 3 inches in a month. So
yes.
not my issue, not a problem.
Wow, okay. Well, like I said, apparently there's percentages and all this stuff. All I know is apparently, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is important stuff. We need to be worried about the male population.
Raising awareness, that's all we're doing here, folks.
Yes. Well, and we're making sure you can raise something else. Yeah, that was okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll be here all the week. There's an otter wanted for devouring koi at a formal garden and may have made a clean getaway. I thought this would be utterly interesting. River otter in British Columbia wanted to scarf down numerous beloved koi from Vancouver's Dr. Sun Yat-sen Classic Chinese Garden, and he may have fled the scene for good. We think it has left the garden. But that wasn't before eating the majority of the pond's fish.
Have you seen this otter?
They have moved 3 adult fish to the Vancouver aquarium to keep them safe from the otter.
All right. Get those dash cams ready.
The garden also moved
Security.
244 juvenile koi, which have been largely hidden near the bottom of the pond by a layer of clay. The koi are in good hands at the aquarium, and they're monitoring the situation to be able to put the koi back in the pond.
Post guards at the koi.
The otter was spotted at the park late last month, and park officials began setting humane traps and hoping in catching and relocating the predator so the koi wouldn't be on the menu.
Now, the otter is being I'm offended by this otter killing these koi.
I'm utterly appalled.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what's really funny?
You know, I don't like Emmett Otter's Judd Bang Christmas.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought it was charming, but now as I'm watching it, it's just going on too long. It's like not much is happening. And I'm still, as an adult, I still enjoy the model miniatures and all the sets and all that and all the work that went into creating this special. But now I just watch it and the story is just going on so long. You know, and I do like the Rubber Bottom Nightmare Band song at the end, but
okay.
But okay, now we got our otter news out.
Yeah,
of the way.
no. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the question. Does PETA get involved here? Is it because it's animal on animal crime?
I'm sure PETA is looking into the matter with most serious attitude.
Well, you know, most people are probably going to sit there and go, leave the poor otter alone. You know that. People love otters. They do. They utterly love them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know. I should stop while I'm ahead.
You should utterly stop.
Yeah.
Utterly, please.
A man uses a super long CVS receipt to repair a broken blind.
That makes sense.
Twitter user at Nolan2 has gone viral after tweeting a picture of his hilarious idea to use a receipt as a replacement for a broken blind in his home.
Yeah, those vertical blinds, yeah.
Yeah, this receipt was the same length as the blinds. That's a long receipt. How much crap did he buy?
You don't need much.
What?
You don't need to buy much to get a receipt that long at CVS.
Oh, no. Have you seen this picture? This is long.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's like, 3 foot, 4 foot?
Really? This seems kind of... Okay. This seems like you bought a lot of stuff.
Well, maybe you did. No.
I guess. I don't know.
When you add your discount cards and all that?
As long as they're not buying a neti pot, because apparently you need to be careful about that, because a woman died of a brain-eating amoeba when she used filtered tap water instead of using distilled water.
Oof.
This is crazy. Why is this happening to people? So apparently you need to be aware of that. Here, okay, now we're back on track. Uranus Examiner ends publication, blames judgmental people.
Now, the town's name is Uranus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe they just need to rename their town, I think.
You stole the thunder of what was fun about this.
Yes, okay.
Apparently there is a Uranus, Missouri.
Okay.
The Uranus, Missouri Examiner. Its name inspires chuckles and grunts, just like Mike. It launched a few months ago and is closing. The paper's editors announced the end of publication and after publishing just 5 editions in September, the statement posted on Facebook, the managing editor Natalie Sanders and Louis Keene, the paper's owner and publisher, blamed the judgmental fuddy-duddy squad for the Examiner's demise. They say people supported the paper, but banks declined to loan it money, and many businesses wouldn't advertise in it. Wait, here's the best part. Because Keene once owned a strip club.
Okay. No, then there's the alternative motive there.
Uranus is an unincorporated tourist spot along historic Route 66 and is known for quirky attractions, including a fudge shop and the world's largest belt buckle.
The world's largest belt buckle.
Yeah. I just want to know, so is the strip club in Uranus?
Yes. It might very well be near or in Uranus.
You know, they're missing out on an opportunity.
Could be on the left side of town, could be on the right side of town.
They're so missing out on the marketing opportunity. You know, they really are. They can have T-shirts. I've been to Uranus, Missouri. You know, stuff like that. It's funny because they said the decision leaves Pulaski County with no newspaper. Well, why didn't you just call it the Pulaski County Examiner? I know why. We all know why.
Because it's an awesome name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's Uranus. My favorite is the picture that they show here. It's for the Uranus Fudge Factory. Now, here's the thing. Would you really want to go to a place called the Uranus Fudge Factory?
Ironically, yes.
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so apparently Ohio State University has installed its first bacon vending machine.
Okay. How many miles is it to this vending machine?
Well, we have to go all the way to Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. All right.
A singer named Sarah Page, who studies meat science, says the vending machine at the College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences has turned out to be an even more popular than expected. It has restocked 4 or 5 times a day. It offers cooked bacon strips and bacon bits for $1.
Wow.
Proceeds will benefit the meat science program. Take that, PETA.
Yes, meat science program.
They're bringing home the bacon, PETA.
And people are storming to this thing like a herd of wild horses.
Absolutely. Members of the program are responsible for the bacon machine operation on the Columbus campus. The Ohio Pork Council sponsored the machine with bacon donations from Smithfield, Hormel, and Sugardale. The machine will remain on campus. I think it'll be gone by the time this gets on the air, which is December 13th. But apparently, people are willing to pay $1 for strip bacon or bacon bits.
I would. It's like you're walking down the street and you got maybe a tasty beverage with you. You want something salty to go with that sweetness?
Yep.
Strip of bacon.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm with you. You know what? This could go places. I'm sure PETA's thrilled. The things are not to eat, apparently, according to the CDC, and this scares me because this is something I ate. Well, this explains a lot in my life. Apparently, do not eat raw cookie dough, according to the CDC.
I've always been okay with not partaking. I was never upset that I couldn't get a lick from the spoon when Mom was baking cookies growing up. But I always knew it was that's uncooked egg in there.
According to this, Dr. Todd Ellerling, who admits he doesn't bake, says that the raw flour and uncooked eggs can make us sick. People not aware that flour is not treated to destroy bacteria, and there have been outbreaks of certain types of E. coli through ingestion of raw dough.
Yeah, a couple Sundays ago. Oh, we got an echo again. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
I'm here.
I've got an echo on my end again. Hold on. Oh, it's done. Okay. What was I making? Yeah, the point I was making. Check. The point I was making. A couple Sundays ago, we had the snow, and we baked cookies as the snow came down the Sunday after Thanksgiving. and that was awesome. But I never partook for raw cookie dough. I was never really a super big fan. But now I know that's got E. coli in that. I'm like, nope. I don't wait till
it's interesting because the way they're making it sounds like if you make it from scratch.
Yeah, that's with actual eggs and flour, not the mixes that come out of the boxes.
Right. Well, that's considered raw cookie dough.
Well, when you either add eggs or you add water or milk or whatever. Some of these recipes do call for actual eggs.
Right. But when I originally saw this, I thought they're talking about like back in college, like you'd go get like raw cookie dough and you'd eat it out of the tube.
Yeah, right. When you had like the Pillsbury, like the cylinders, the ones that are like terribly scary to open.
Yeah. That next thing you know, you're gonna poke your eye out with that thing. Yeah, that kind of thing. Apparently, they're not talking about this. They're talking about if you actually bake it. Okay, this is not nearly as troublesome as I thought it would be.
Okay.
Okay. This goes back to the fun time. Inmate steals a prison van, honks goodbye to fiance as he escapes from custody.
So wait a minute. He's honking to someone in the prison as he's leaving?
Apparently so. An inmate in Mississippi managed to hop out of a prison van while handcuffed and shackled and drove away from the police, all while pausing to honk at his dumbstruck fiance looking on.
Okay.
When the inmate was being transported back to jail following a court appearance on a felony drug and weapon charges, he'd previously been convicted on a felony and one charge with a felony charge of concealing. Okay, this is not important.
Is he still at large, or did they capture him?
At time of when I'm looking at this, he was still at large. Apparently, the van was parked outside of the jail, and the door was open as other inmates were being taken back when he jumped out of the back, managed to get inside the driver's seat despite being handcuffed and shackled with belly chains. The van was running at the time. Why would you do that? And he drove away with the shackles on. But apparently, as he went by, he honked to his fiance. Here's a quote. I thought it was a dream, like deer in headlights, never in a million years would I have thought it. I was standing there and he honked because he saw me, but I figured he'd have turned around or came home.
Home to prison.
She's playing at him to just call. All you have to do is call and turn himself in. Yeah. This is so many questions. Like, why would you leave the car running? I do think it's funny that he honked. I think that's great. I don't know what else to think. Here's fun. Nuns misappropriated $500,000 in school funds, spending it some on gambling and trips. The Catholic Church says.
Gambling junkies.
I think the funny part is the nuns. Maybe they should get in league with this guy who escaped the van. Yeah, this is not nearly as funny as I thought it would be. I just thought the concept of nuns was funny, but I guess not.
Mama Penguin needs a new pair of sandals.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Rolling craps.
In Ghana, if you want to get a divorce, you must dress like your wedding day to get a divorce.
That is spectacular.
I think that's quite amusing.
If that was the truth, if that was the issue here in the States, the divorce rate would be much lower. Because most people just wouldn't. So I think, most Americans, I think, would be too embarrassed to do it. Even just to, most people are like, okay, I can see how it can go both ways here in the States. How it would, I'm sure it wouldn't increase the divorce rate. I'm sure it would increase the divorce rate in the U.S.
You mean the decrease?
No, I wouldn't. I think it would. It wouldn't increase it.
Oh,
I think it would cause more people to be too embarrassed to do it.
Yeah. Apparently, there are numerous curious laws in different countries in Africa. One of them is in the Republic of Ghana, where divorce is permitted on one condition, which is that in divorce they have to dress the same way they were married. The condition creates a very humorous situation in so-called divorce rooms, where Ghanaians must go if they want to end their marriage. This is amusing.
Ghanaians.
In other African countries like Togo, first you must go to your mother-in-law, explain your reasons so you can receive her approval. That's why Togo's divorce rate is 0. Yep, that would explain a lot.
The Togoians.
Yeah.
Like the Ghanaians.
Yeah. Well,
Togoian divorce rate.
Yeah.
I think that's the title for this week's show.
And then finally, so Mike, have you heard about, apparently there's, Burger King's doing this deal where if you have their app and you are within a certain length or certain time away from a McDonald's, that you can essentially order through the app a Whopper for 1 cent.
Okay.
Well, there was a Los Angeles man who tried to take advantage of the penny Whopper deal, but his bill ended up totaling more than $1,000.
Wow. Well, you just hit the wrong button, or there's...
Well, okay, so Boyce Harvey said he selected the Whopper Detour meal in the app, but when he went and picked up the order, a manager couldn't find it. Harvey said then he selected another deal, but when he left, his jaw dropped when he saw that he was charged $1,093.91. And that has a huge overdraft in his account. I guess Burger King is trying to straighten out the mess for poor Harvey.
Yeah, jeez, how does that will damage your credit rating.
Yeah, that'll do a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's the most expensive Whopper I've ever heard.
Well, what was I'm I don't know if the article says what he actually ordered.
No, it doesn't give me that.
That's moving the decimal place quite a few notches.
Yeah, well, like I said,
I don't use the apps to order food. I'll use their website to order food and then pick it up, but I don't use, like, food apps. I did that a couple times with Jimmy John's.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used the app to order food anywhere?
No, I'm really not an app food person. It's like sometimes I don't want these things on my phone, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm just fuddy-duddy that way. I'm not sure.
I hear you. I'm a fuddy-duddy. It's like I get my haircut done. I get my haircut at a usual, like, chain. That's a national chain.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, oh, if you download the app, you can schedule so you can walk right in. You don't have to wait.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, today's my day off. I got nothing else to do. I just walk in. And if there's not too many people sitting down waiting, then I'll sit and I'll just, browse on my phone, wait until my name's called. But I don't want to download an app to get a haircut.
Well, it sounds like you're killing two birds with one stone.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
You know what we're also doing? We're doing this show, and how can they catch up with us, Mike?
As we are doing this show, we thank you duly for listening. We are on YouTube, and if you are listening on YouTube, please subscribe, click that bell. We appreciate it, and thank you for listening. We're also on PodBean as well. We are on Twitter and Instagram at SOTRT Podcast. And you send us an email if you like, for questions, comments, if you like. We appreciate it as well. We enjoy listening from our listeners. Wait a minute. We enjoy hearing or reading from our listeners as we're reading and talking, and we're listening to ourselves. Our email is sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, so this is next week, our last show for 2018. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but Ivan will be back, right?
We hope so. We hope Ivan will be done spinning records by then.
Yeah, or he'll just be spinning.
Yes.
We
got to get his headphone cord tangled or something.
Yeah.
You think he uses his phone. I don't think he even uses it. I think I'm the only one who uses headphones.
I need to get some. I have some headphones. I need to probably get some. I need to get a better mic.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe do like a year-end wrap-up or something, or expectations for 2019.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Well, we can do that. I mean, hey, it's already turned into a year of papers at Uranus and learning how to beat drug tests and things about sex robots that I never wanted to know.
Otters stealing koi, birds with 2 stones, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Oh, I heard that. I'll have to see if I can find it. I heard there's a story. I'll have to see if I can find it. I heard there's a story that now there's a male sex robot. Mike is silent.
Tune in next week to find out.
Yeah, I'll look into it. I heard some amusing stuff about that.
And with that, we are done. On behalf of my bud Jeff Stein over there.
And my buddy Mike Boyle.
Yep.
Ivan is not with us, but we appreciate you joining us this week. And I have a feeling we'll probably talk a little music, too. Watch Ivan get stuff stuck under his craw about this isn't a good Christmas song or that isn't, or, we'll get some of that in.
Yeah, we need to get back at him for being absent this week. So until then, we'll catch you next time, folks.
Have a great week.